Good afternoon. Due to some technical problem, we have, there was delay in starting the lecture. Today we will have some more problems on estimating and costing. We will see the problems related with estimating and costing. We have already seen the various concepts regarding the different methods for excavation in case of roads, mid-sectional method, mean area method, trapezoidal and prismoidal method. We have already started the problems related with the mid-sectional method and mean area method. Again, there is a problem related with the mid-sectional method or mean area method. There is a problem. Calculate quantity of earthwork of road from the following data. By using mean area method, formation width is 10 meters, slope in banking is 2:1, and slope in cutting is 1.5:1. And various changes and formation levels are given. Changes are 0, 30, 60, 90, and 120, with the ground level as 500, 499, 497.5, 495, and 494. FLs are also given. So we will calculate the excavation, earthwork in excavation in case of cutting and filling in roads. So with the help of the mean area methods. Here data is given for mean area method. So due to some problem, there was delay in the lecture due to some technical problem. So we have started this lecture. So calculate quantity of earthwork of road from the following data by using mean area methods. Here mean word is related with the average area, whereas mid word relates with the depth. But here in question it has been used as mean, so therefore this mean word relates with the area average. Formation width is 10 meters, slope in banking is 2:1, and slope in cutting is 1.5:1. Whereas changes are given 0, 30, 60, 90, and 120, whereas respective GL and FL is given. In this problem, ground level and formation level it has given. In previous problem, we have seen that formation level of first change was given, and next change we have to find out depending upon the gradient, whether it is falling gradient or whether it is rising gradient. So depending upon the gradients, we have to find out. But in this problem, directly formation level is given, so there is no need to separately find out the formation level because it has been directly given. So with the help of this, we have to find out. So there is a table which relates the various things related with this. Yes, changes are given this 0, 30, 60. This is actually the change difference from negative to positive. Therefore, change is actually 0, 30, 60, 90, and 120. Whereas ground levels are given, respective ground levels are given, respective formation levels are given. So what is how to find out depth? Depth, simple way to find out depth is nothing but FL minus GL, formation level minus ground level. The FL is minus GL is, as GL is more, therefore minus sign with -3, again -2, -1. FL minus GL is, again there is 0.5, and FL minus GL is 1. This negative sign indicates the depth will be in, or the we have to cut this according to this negative sign. The excavation to be excavated, there will be a cutting in this case because it is negative sign, and this last these two case there will be fillings. But this has been changed from negative to positive. This has been changed from negative to positive. Therefore, there is change in change. Our depth has been changed from cutting to filling. So from cutting to filling, this 60 to 90, it has been changed. Now, what will be the intermediate change? We have to find out. From negative to positive, it has been changed. So there is a figure for this. So with the help of this figure, we have to find out from negative to positive, because negative is 1 and positive is 0.5. So there is -1 and positive is 0.5. So suppose this distance is x. We have to find out the distance as x. Point of counterflexures. We have seen in bending moment, shear force and bending moment, this point is not zero moments. So it has this point in which negative to positive or positive to negative change, we have to find out the distance x and L minus x. L is nothing but the total length. Here total length is, difference in total length is 30 meters. So L will be here in this case will be 30 meters. So we have to find out the x in this case. So to find out the x, we have to have this similarity of triangles, that vertical height divided by x, horizontal 1 divided by x, same way that is equals to 0.5 divided by L minus x. The similarity of the triangles, with the help of the similarity of triangle we have to find out the x. So vertical divided by x, that is equals to this vertical again 0.5 divided by L minus x, irrespective of minus and plus sign. So we have to 1 divided by x, that is equals to 0.5 divided by 30 minus x. So similarity of triangles, with the help of that similarity of triangles we have to find out. So simple cross multiplication is there, 1 multiplied by this 30 minus x and 0.5 multiplied by x, and x terms it has been added. So this x terms addition will have 1.5x, that is 30 is equals to 1.5x, and x will be 20. So simple multiplication division is there. So x is nothing but 20 meters. So this x will be where from negative, from cutting to filling, it has been changed. So where is cutting? This part is in cutting, this part is in filling. So here there is difference in changeage from cutting to filling, and that difference is nothing but 20 meters. So we have to add this 20 meters. So 60 plus 20 is nothing but 80, and rest will be same. So this, in this line there will be change. And one thing, one important thing is there, by using the mean area method, so this negative or this empty space will be up to the point where we are finding out the mean area. The mean area from this we are finding out the mean area. So this in this line there will be mean area. Up to this there will be no yeah, values will be there. This horizontal row will be empty. So this 80 it has been calculated from this x. So 60 plus 20 is nothing but 80. Similar ways we have already seen this negative depths and positive. Negative indicates cutting and positive indicates filling. Whereas B into D, width is nothing but 10 meters into 3, simple way, 30, 20 and 10. With respect to minus sign, only this we have indicated this minus sign in depth column, because to indicate the whether it is in cutting and filling. Rest, in the rest cases there is no need of this minus sign. Okay, this minus sign will confuse the rest problem. So there is no need to use the minus sign. We have used the minus sign in depth, so there is no use of this minus sign in rest of calculations. Okay, so B into D, also they are also B into D, but by mistake I've written this minus sign. So it is actually 5 and 10 as D square, because this part are in negative, so negative indicates cutting. So cutting slope is nothing but 1.5. So 1.5 into D square. D square is nothing but 3 square. So 1.5 into 3 square, again 1.5 into 2 square, again 1.5 into this 1 square, that is 1.5. Again same way, but these two parts are in banking. So slope for banking is 2. So we are using this for these two values, because here it is in positive sign. So here we have to use in banking. So point, that is 2 into 0.5 square, and 2 again 2 one of these two things is nothing but the areas. Here we are using the mean area method. Therefore, addition divided by 2. As I've already said, this from negative to positive change. So this will extend up to where the formula we are using. Whether we are using mean area. So this will be added with mean area. Whether we are using depth method, mid sectional method. So up to this depth method we have to add d1 plus d2 divided by 2. So here area method is there. Therefore, this value will come for area. This plus this divided by 2, again 26 plus 12 divided by 2, 12 plus 0 divided by 2, and 0 plus 5.4 divided by 2, again 5.4 plus 10 divided by 2. But this value, this area, it is in addition with this, where the change it has been there. So this part is negative. This part is negative. So this part is added with the 0. So negative is added with the 0. That means this will come under the cuttings. This will come under the cutting. Again, this 0, it has been added for positive. This part is depth is filling. So again, this 0, it has been added with positive. So this value will come under the filling. So this cutting and filling, this two concept is very important. From where it has been changed from cutting to filling, this it is very important, because one value in addition in cutting or filling will change whole calculations. Okay, so the change in cutting to filling is most important. Length, again same way, length we have to find out. 30 minus 0 is 30, 60 minus 30 is 30, again 80 minus 60 is 20, 90 minus 80 is 10. With the help of this column we have to find out the various changes. Okay, so 30 minus 0 from this step, because first row is empty, so 30 minus 0 is 30, again 60 minus 30 we have to return in this row 30, this part is been written in this, again 80 minus 60 it has to be written in 20, 90 minus 80 it has been written in here 10, and 120 minus 90 that is written in here as 30. Simple multiplication is there, length into area is nothing but this value, and the total quantity of earthwork in filling and cutting, it has in cutting it has been calculated as 1720, and filling it has been calculated as 258. Okay. So same way we will find out some more problems on this. Yes, calculate the quantity of earthworks of road from the following data. Formation width is 10 meters. Side slope is 2:1. Here, side slope in case of cutting and filling, both side slope it has been given as 2:1. In last problem, for cutting it has been different, for filling it has been different. But in this problem, both side slope it has been given as 2:1. So there is no separation of side slope. For both cases, side slope is same as 2:1. So there is no confusion regarding this, whether we have to take in cutting or whether we have to take in filling. So there is no confusion. So side slope for both cases we have to take 2:1. That is 2. SC, no, slope in cutting, and SB, slope in banking. For both cases we have to take 2. Formation level at starting changes is given as 51.20. That is formation level FL for first change, that is for 160, FL is given as 51.20. FL for 200 to 400 we have to calculate depending upon this gradient. So there is a falling gradient of 1 in 40. So again there is a falling gradient of 1 in 40. With the help of this falling gradient we have to find out the formation level for various changes. Formation level for 200 up to 400, 200 to 400 we have to find out the various formation level for various changes. We will see one by one. Formation level, again the given data is width is nothing but 10 meters, slope for both cases is 2, and a formation level at the starting change is 51.20. Falling gradient is 1 in 40. Okay, there is a falling gradient. In some problems there may be a rising gradient, in some problems there may be a falling gradient. But in this case there is a falling gradient, that means the formula used is minus sign. The formula we will use here as minus, with the help of minus sign, whether it is falling. When there is a rising gradient, then this, with the help of this formula we will use the positive sign. The formation level at next change is equals to formation level of previous change minus. Why minus? Because it is falling gradient. 1 upon gradient, here gradient is 40, so 1 by 40 into change difference. Yes, change difference is 160 minus 200 minus 160, that is 40, 240 minus 200, that is 40. That means 40 is the change difference. Formation level at next change, that is at 200. First 160 it has been given as 51.20, but for 200 FL we have to find out. So 51.20 is the previous, 1 upon 40. 40 is nothing but the gradient into change difference. Again change difference is 40. Unfortunately this 40 and 40 these two are same, but this 40 represents the gradient and this 40 represents the change difference. In order to confuse, so there is both the values are same for change as well as the for change difference as well as gradient. The values are 40 and 40 same. So no need to confuse. So 51.20 minus 1 upon gradient into the change difference. The same way, this 40 will cancel. So 51.20 minus 1, that is 50.20. Same way, FL at next change is 50.20 minus same formula 49.20. Again 49.20 will be used for next change, that is 48.20. 48.20 again it has been it will be used for the next change, that will be 47.20. 47.20 again used for next change, that is 46.20, and 46.20 again used for next change. Finally it is 45.20 up to 400. So up to 400 we have to calculate the various FLs. So total FLs were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Yes, so there were 6 FLs. So we have calculated all these 6 FLs, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6. So this 6 FLs we have calculated depending upon the first FL, which has already been given, and falling is gradient is given. That means the road to be constructed in a steep slope. The slope to be maintained or falling gradient is to be maintained is 1 in 40. So with the route to be maintained or the slope to be maintained in the road. That means this sentence falling gradient means that there is a slope of 1 is to 40 in the road. There will be a steep slope related with the construction of roads. Again, by with the help of mid-sectional method, or we will find out the quantity of earthwork in case of cutting and in case of fillings. So mid is nothing but again the word related with the depth. Mean word relates with the area. Mid word relates with the depth. So with the help of the depth method, we will find out. The depth method. So up to the depth in this mid sectional method. So we will find out. These changes are again given in the question. There is 160, 200. So this is nothing but the change difference from positive to negative. So as I've already said that while writing down this or while drawing the table, we have to leave one space so that change in changes to be written. Okay? While writing down this 160, after that 160 we leave one line so that in that line we can have the change in change from positive to negative or negative to positive, where it will become so depending upon that leave one space, leave one line so that there will not be any confusion regarding the various changes. So there it is 160, 200, 240, 280, 320 and 360 and 400. Various apples were given as yes. Yes. Ground level is given as various ground levels are given, various formation levels are given. Formation level already we have calculated. First FL was given, that is 51.20, but depending upon that previous FLs we have calculated all this 50.2, 49.2, 48.2, 47.2 and 46.2 and 51, 45.2. So depending upon the various we have already calculated this. Depth is nothing but FL minus GL. So FL minus GL is nothing but 51.2 minus 50.6. So zero point 0.6 will be the difference. 50.2 minus 49.7 difference will be 0.5. Here, as it is change in changes, this will be we will calculate later. So 49.2 minus 51.2, that is difference is minus 2. Here it is minus. From filling it has been changed to the cutting, positive to negative. There is change in changes from filling to cutting. Again 48.2 minus 51.4, that is minus 3.2. Again 47.2 minus 51.3, same way for minus 4.1, minus 4.8 and minus 5.4. So this is nothing but various depths regarding with the cutting and filling, but these two starting relates with the positive sign relates with the filling and negative sign relates with the cuttings. Okay. As we are using the mid sectional methods, again most important is the change of changes from positive to negative, that means from filling to cutting. So this figure is most important. Okay. So filling is having a depth of 0.5 positive, whereas cutting it has been having the depth of minus 2. This is nothing but minus 2. This is nothing but the minus 2. Yes, minus 2. So this is nothing but minus 2. Again, we have to find out this x. How to find out x? So this difference, this smaller triangle is x, and this larger triangle width is nothing but L minus x. Okay. Again, similarity of triangles, 0.5 divided by x, that is equals to again 2 divided by L minus x. Simple calculations are there in order to find out the depth related criteria. That is nothing but the 0.5 divided by that's vertical divided by horizontal, that is equals to again vertical divided by horizontal. Simple multiplications is there, cross multiplication, 0.5 multiplied by this 40 minus x in bracket and 2 multiplied by x, that is 2x. Simple x terms common. So 20 is equals to 2.5x and x comes to be 8 meters. This change in chain is from positive to negative. So this difference or this x comes for 8 meters. What is the difference in chainage? So difference in chainage is is nothing but 200 minus 160, that is nothing but the 40. 240 minus 200, that is 40. So this length is nothing but 40 meters. That means this x is nothing but this x distance is 8 meters. That means total, if it is this total length is 40, so this minus x is nothing but 8 meters. That is L minus x, that will be 32 meters. So total is 40 meters. So 32 meters will be the width of this larger triangles, and this 8 meters will be the width of this smaller triangles. Total addition will be 40. Total addition will be 40. Yeah. So this will come at this line. Okay. Because it has been changed from positive to negative. So 200 and 240. The intermediate of this will be x as 8. So what will be x? So it is just the addition of this 8 with the previous change. 200 plus 8 is nothing but 208. So this line will be empty, but up to which space? The formula which we are using. If we are using the depth formula, so up to the depth, this will be empty. Okay? And in depth formula, we are using this 0 part. Okay? If it is mean area method, so we have to use 0 for mean area method. If it is depth, so up to depth, we have to add. Okay? So directly we are adding up to this line, we have to use this 208 values. So again, this addition is because it is mean area method, so therefore 0.6 plus 0.5 divided by 2, that is 0.55. 0.5 plus 0 divided by 2, that is 0.25. Again 0 plus 2 divided by 2, that is 1. Again 2 plus 3.2 divided by 2, 2.6. 3.2 plus 4.1 divided by 2, 3.65. 4.1 plus 4.8 divided by 2, 4.45. 4.8 plus 5.4 divided by 2, that is 5.1. As I already said, only the depth in this formula, only in the depth formula, we are representing this minus sign in order to have which part will be coming in cutting and filling. Rest formula, there is no use of this minus sign. Okay, so this minus sign will not be used in rest formula because I have drawn in this Excel sheet. Therefore, it is while multiplying the column, so this minus sign it has been used, but there is no use of this minus sign in the rest of blocks, in rest of columns, because it will confuse while adding or while finding out the areas or while finding out the length or quantity. It will confuse. Only we have to use this minus sign in the first step, that is to find out the depth. After finding out this, and there is no use of the minus sign in the further columns. We have calculated all this mean depth because we are using the mid sectional. The mid word relate with the depth. B into D width is nothing but 10. So 10 multiplied by again depth. This is nothing but 6.6, 3, 12. Yes. Sorry, it is having a width of 12 meters because we have multiplied with, yes, 12. We have multiplied with this D into D. Yes. So this will be 12 meters. Instead of 10, it is 12 meters. Yes. It is 12 meters. Here it is 12 meters. So B into D, it is 12 into B width is 12 meters multiplied by depth 0.55. So it is nothing but 6.6. Again B into D, B into D for the various SD square. S in this case is same, that is 2. So 2 multiplied by D square. So 0.5 square. Again 2 multiplied by 0.25 square. Again 2 multiplied by 1 square. Same way the respective various SD square. Area is nothing but same, addition of BD and SD square. This as mean area, mean depth method is used. So this whole row will be empty. Okay, this whole row will be empty. It is just the addition of this all areas. Next is length. How to find out length? Again 200 minus 160, that is 40. 208 minus 200, that is 8. 240 minus 208, that is 32. Again 280 minus 40, that is written in this row as 40, and same way remaining 40. Only this two will be 8 and 32 depending upon from positive to negative. Again, while using this, as I've already said, this part will be covered in fillings because it has been added with filling. This plus this divided by 2, so it will be in filling, and this plus 0. So this previous part is in filling, so therefore this row will be in filling, and 0 plus minus 2. 0 minus 2. That means this addition divided by 2, so this part will be in cutting. This part will be cutting. Yes. Minus sign indicates in cutting. So all these values will be in cutting, and these two values will be in fillings. So this, it is most important. So quantity of earthwork in cutting and filling is 11066.8, and filling it is 313.5. So this problem is again simple, but in this case cutting and filling both slopes were same, and FL was not given. So with the help of the various changes and with the help of the starting formation level, we have calculated the different formation level for various changes. Next problem is most important, in which we have to find out the again, but here the data is somewhat different. With the help of that data, we have to find out the various things. Calculate quantity of earthwork of road from the following data. Mid sectional method, again mid is word is it has been used, where depth method it has been used. Mid sectional method is depth method. Formation width is nothing but 12 meters. Slope in cutting is 1.5 is to 1, and slope in banking is 2 is to 1. Okay. Next, changes are given 0 to 0, 60, 120, 180, 230, 300, 360, 420, 480, and 540. Various ground levels are given, but here formation level is most important. Okay. Formation level is most important. Formation level for first changes is given, that is 72.4, but formation level for various changes it is somewhat different. Okay. So downward gradient, it has been given as 0.8% up to 240. From 60 to 240 it has been given as 0.8%, and from 300 to 540 it has been given as the upward gradient as 0.5%. That means in some part of the road there will be a downward gradient of 0.8%, and some part of road there will be an upward gradient. So there may be a club of downward and upward gradient also. Okay. In some roads we have already seen in last problem, there is total road it is in downward gradient, or some roads will be an upward gradient. But here there is a combination of downward as well as upward gradient, but the gradient it is not given in 1:2. It has been given in percentage, 0.8% and 0.5%. How to find out the 1:200 or 1:2 the value depending upon this? So this is nothing but 0.8%. In order to convert this in for one in, so we have to reverse this, that is 0.8%. So 100 divided by 0.8, 100 divided by 0.8 is 125. That is 1 in 125 for downward gradient. Again 0.5% is given, therefore for 1:2, in order to calculate for 1:2, so we have to reverse this. Instead of 0.5%, we have taking this as 100 divided by 0.5, that is 200. So 1 in 200 for 0.8%, 1 in 200 for 0.5%, and 1 in 125 for 0.8%. That means for downward gradient there is a downward gradient there is 1 in 125, and for upward gradient there is 1 in 200. How to calculate? So just reverse this. For 1 in calculations we have to reverse this, that is 100 divided by 0.8, and for this 100 divided by 0.5. So 1 in 125 and 1 in 200. So 1 in 125 for this 60 to 240, up to 60 to 240, and from 300 to 540 it is 1 in 200. In some questions this gradient is directly given 1 in 200 or 1 in 40 or 1 in 30, but in some problems it has been given in percentages. So no need to confuse how to convert this into a gradient form. So this is most important. This is simple calculations because we have to find out in 1:2. Okay. How to find out 1:2? Simple cross multiplication is there. Simple cross multiplications. So this 100 divided by 0.8 and 100 divided by 0.5. So that will come up to 1 in 200 and 1 in 125. Again, same way, width is given as 12 meters. Slope in cutting has been given as 1.5. Slope in banking it has been given as 2. Formation level formula, how to find out at next change? As starting is downward, therefore we are using minus sign. Formation level of previous change is minus 1 upon gradient multiplied by change difference. Again, formation level at next change is equals to previous change is 72.442 minus, again minus. Why minus sign? Because up to from 60 to 240 it is downward, so we are using this negative sign up to 240. How much is the gradient? Already we have calculated 0.8% as 1 is to 125. So what is gradient? To 125. What is change difference? 60. 60 to 120, 60 to 180, 60 to 240. So change difference is 60. So 1 divided by 125 multiplied by 60. Why minus sign? Because it is downward. And how this 1 is to 125 comes? How this gradient comes? Simple division is there. Okay. So formation level as next change is nothing but previous change, that is 71.94 minus, again minus sign, again same way 1 by 125 multiplied by 60. How many values are there? So there are 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means 4 values comes under downward. So these two values we have calculated, and these two values 70.94 and this again 70.50. So these are the 4 values which comes under the downward gradient with a slope of 1 is to 125. But rest is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This 5, 300, from 300 to 540, there will be an upward gradient of 1 is to 200. So next we will have positive sign with the value change as 1 is to 25. Again the same formula it has been used, but here the formula is positive sign. Why? Because next calculations are for upward gradients. The formation level at next change is again this change, previous will be same. Previous will be same 50.50. No need to take first change because previous change here it is 50.50. So here we will take 50.50. This will be the previous. 1 divided by, instead of 125 here will be 200. Why? Because it is having a 0.5% and it is having a upward gradient. Therefore positive sign with 1 divided by 200 multiplied by 60, it comes to be 70.8, and it lasts for 5 values. So this value is for first FL, second again positive upward gradient, again second, third value upward gradient, third value, fourth value upward gradient, and fifth value upward gradient. That means these 5 values are from upward gradient, and these 4 values are from downward gradient with a 1 is to 125 and 1 is to 200. Again same, these are the values. Okay. These are the values. Changes are given as 60, 120, 180, 240, 300 up to 540, and various ground levels are given, various formation levels are given, various depth is given. Okay. Mean depth we are using at mid sectional method. So here there is mean depth d1 plus d1 plus d2 divided by 2 and d2 plus d3 divided by 2, and so on depending upon this. Okay. So depending upon this, first find out the depth. How to find out depth? FL minus 0. So 72.4 minus 73.1, that is minus 71.9, that is 72.4, that is again minus 71.5 minus 71.9, again minus 71 minus 72 point this, again minus 70.5 minus 71.3, again minus. But here unfortunately these two values are same. So here I have not drawn the figures. Why I have not drawn the figure? Because the change difference, it has been calculated in the change. It has been calculated in the change. So there, here instead of 240, the change from negative to positive, it has been changed from this. So there is no extra line to be added because these two values are same. These two values are same. Okay? So these two values are same, and it has, unfortunately, this change in change, it has been come at this 0. Calculations part is 0. That means there is change from this negative to positive. Negative to positive. By calculations, it has been calculated. Okay? So there is no need of that x and L minus x values, because in calculations it has been, unfortunately, it has been calculated or it has been come. So 0, again 0.56, again 0.58, 0.74 and 0.5. This problem is somewhat different, in which change difference it has been directly, such values has been chosen that there is no change in the change. It has been directly calculated by this change from negative to positive. So this 0 it has been calculated. Mean depth method has been used. So therefore addition plus divided by 2, 0.7 plus 0.5 divided by 2, 0.5 plus 0.4 divided by 2, 0.4 plus 0.11 divided by 2, 0.11 plus 0.8 divided by 2, 0.8 plus 0 divided by 2. Again this part is negative. Again this part will be positive. 0 plus 56, 0 plus 0.56 divided by 2 and 0.56 divided plus 0.58 divided by 2, and this, from this part it has been come from filling, and this above part will be in banking. Just the multiplication is there, b into d, as I have already said. So there is no need of again using this minus sign for in rest of the columns. Only use the minus sign in this depth column, as I have drawn this Excel in Excel sheet. So this constantly it has been used in minus sign, because minus sign it is to be used in only the depth column. No need to use the minus sign in the rest of the columns, because it will confuse the rest calculations. Just is the multiplication b into d. B, I think so. B is nothing but 12. So 12 is multiplied by again depth. This 12 multiplied by again depth. So respect to depth is sd square. Again, this part up to this is it has been in cuttings, because this plus this divided by 2. So this part it is in cutting. This plus this divided by 2. So this part is in filling. The filling for this 0.157 value, we have to use the sloping filling. For 0.32, we have to use slope in cutting. Okay? So these two multiplication factors for cutting and filling, it is being most important. Okay? Change in change from where it has been changed. This step is most important in every case, in every row. Whether we are calculating depth, or we are calculating SD square, or whether we are calculating area, whether we are calculating quantity for filling and cutting. So here it has been changed. This it is most important. Okay? Small change in cutting and filling will change whole quantity. So area is nothing but same way. Addition of these two rows, addition of these two is nothing but the areas. Again, 60 is the difference. Again, the difference is same, because here there is no x l minus x. Therefore, difference in length it is same. All the difference is same, 60. And these columns comes under the cutting, and these columns comes under the filling. It is just the addition of this quantity. How to find out quantity? That is nothing but area into length. So addition of all this will be cutting, and addition of all this will be filling. So this problem was somewhat different, in which downward gradient was given in percentage. Some part was covered in downward gradient, some part was covered in filling rising gradient, and with difference in changes gradient and with its percentages. So in next lectures, we will see some more problems regarding with the earthwork in excavations in case of roads in cutting and filling. So, or we will see the problems related with the canals also. So here we will stop the lecture, today's lecture, and in from next lecture we will have some more problems on the cutting and filling for roads, or we will start the canals. Canals, little bit the calculations for canals is more. Table is somewhat elaborated in case of canals, but there is a compulsory question on canals as well as in case of roads. Okay, so we have covered number of problems related with the roads. If anyone having some problems or related with this topic, they may WhatsApp me, or they may ask me the questions related with the banking, cutting, or with the various methods. We will see some more problems. We will practice some more problems on this roads and canals also. Today we will stop the lectures, as I've already said that today's lecture, it has been started somewhat late due to some technical problem, due to some internet facility. I have started the lecture late. Next we will have some more lectures on estimating and costing. Thank you.